Listeners, beware. You're ready to choose your own scare. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Nightmare on Fear Street. I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm your other host, Meg.
Sorry, unfortunately, Ember isn't here this week. She actually got eaten by a zombie, so she'll come back next week as a zombie.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yes. But other than that, it's just me and Meg this week, and we are doing a Give Yourself Goosebumps book. Which Give Yourself Goosebumps book do we do?
We are doing Trapped in Batwing Hall.
Oh my god, we forgot the keys.
Wah, 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 wah.
So, Meg, how was your week?
You mean how was my spooky week? Isn't that what
how was your spooky week?
My spooky week? Oh, well, I am still working on the same animation projects. And, in terms of spooky stuff, this week I watched every episode of Netflix's new The Santa Clarita Diet, which is very funny and super gory.
Is that about cannibals?
It's about zombie, sort of. This woman...
Is it kind of like iZombie?
Not as much as you'd think. She dies and becomes a zombie, and she and her husband go around killing people so that she will have human flesh to eat. It's more like Dexter in that they're always killing people, but they don't want to get caught.
Hopefully they're just bad people, right? Or they're just random people?
They're good people, but they have to do this.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with being a zombie, I feel like. Like, there's a lot of weird, I love zombie comedies where it's actually in the perspective of the zombie, brains.
Have you seen the movie Fido with Billy Connolly?
Yeah, I've seen Fido.
I love that movie.
I love that. And then there's another one, I can't remember the name. I think it was called Dave. Or there's a zombie movie where it's like a love story. It's not Warm Bodies.
Okay.
I hate Warm Bodies.
Oh, really?
I don't care for zombie romance because it's still kind of creepy.
It is.
Did you see the Stranger Things 2 trailer?
No.
We get it Halloween, and I'm a little bummed for that, but it looks good.
Oh. Thank goodness.
Then I'm excited for that, but then we had Guardians of the Galaxy 2 trailer, which dropped, which I keep listening to it, and the soundtrack's going to be amazing, the movie's going to be amazing.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm excited because they introduced that Karen Gillan is going to be reprising Nebula, and she's going to be part of the Guardians.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. Same as with Yondu is going to be in it, and then they showed off the trailer, you know how they're walking through the hallway and everyone's all in 0G?
Yes.
Yeah, he straight up murdering people with his arrow. And it's a bigger scene of what they did in the first movie, and I love that scene. So, radical. And guess what they just announced? Well, I was kind of bummed about, but not really. They just axed the Friday the 13th reboot movie.
Well, you see, I don't think a lot of people were actually asking for that, because Friday the 13th was a fine movie on its own. I think it's one of the ones that doesn't have to be remade.
Yeah. I'm just I thought it was funny that they axed it because of Rings, which I refuse to see. Because I really don't
Rings looks terrible.
I heard it was terrible, so that's why they axed it, but they also delayed the World War Z sequel movie.
There was going to be a sequel to World War Z?
Yeah, well, they've said they delayed it, but it's now pretty much in movie limbo.
They should just make a World War Z TV show.
That would be cool. And then each episode is a story, and it's kind of like Fear the Walking Dead in a sense.
Yeah, sort of like that, except I hate The Walking Dead.
I don't like The Walking Dead.
Oh, finally, someone else.
I find it to be boring. It's just
I know.
Oh, there's a zombie over there. They just shoot it. So why were you sleeping with this person?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just oh my god,
boring.
Get to the zombies.
I vastly prefer Z Nation because it actually has a plot.
I mean, there was a time and place for The Walking Dead. I love the special effects and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's just we want to know these characters and stuff, and it's boring. That's why I don't like The Walking Dead. I love iZombie because at least the zombie stuff is cool.
Yeah. It's original.
I mean, the comic book for Walking Dead is amazing. It was amazing and is amazing.
The comic of iZombie is pretty good. It has absolutely nothing to do with the TV show. Like, the plot is totally different.
Which I'm fine about.
Yeah, but it's a good comic. Well, so do you want to get started on this spooky book?
Yeah, let's get into the spooky book. It's trapped in Batwing Hall.
Dun dun dun.
Lightning crackle crackle. I'm going to read the back of this book. Because the weird thing I love about these books is that they're super holographic. Ooh, holographic.
Oh, yeah, they got super shimmery covers. This one has a cover with a bat on it, and he is swooping down with his claws extended, and his mouth is open, and he's gonna get you.
Yes, and the sad thing is it's a fruit bat, probably. So it's attack on a piece of fruit. Is it?
No, it's not. Fruit bats don't have noses like that.
What type of bat would this be? I don't know bats really.
A vampire bat.
This is a vampire bat?
Yeah, that's what vampire bats look like. They've got those pig noses and big teeth and tiny little bodies.
I don't really know bats.
I know
closest
bats.
I've ever gotten to bats is I used to live in Albuquerque, and sometimes we would take vacations. We would go to Carlsbad Caverns.
We got bats. We have a huge amount of giant fruit bats living in the tree outside my house.
That is adorable.
They are adorable. They're called flying foxes because they have little doggy faces.
That's adorable.
And
I know what type of bats these are.
And they are very good, and I love them.
The only thing that we have near our house is a hawk that has attacked me twice in my life.
Oh,
and
wow.
Because we started ripping down trees, it's like now become super territorial, so I have to watch my dog now, or like she'll like be taken away. Which has happened to one of our neighbor's dogs.
Don't cut down trees, kids.
That's not our fault. That's because they're building more housing developments near our house. So this poor little, like, hawk is just like, meh.
Well, on that depressing note,
join the horror club. Being the new kid school is no picnic. At your old school, you had tons of friends, but now you don't have a single one. Then you meet Nick. He asks you to join the horror club. The horror club meets in an old mansion called Batwing Hall. It's dark and it's spooky, and when your adventures begin, the members of the horror club are going on a scavenger hunt. If you join the red team, you find the truth about your new friends. They are actually monsters. One is green-skinned reptile, another a hulking giant. If you join the blue team, you get turned into a furry-faced vampire bat. The choices is yours in the scary Goosebumps adventure that's packed with 20 super spooky endings.
But we are going to do 2 super spooky endings.
Yes, for the price of 1. So, did you ever read this one before?
I did. This was one of the ones that was in my classroom's bookshelf when I was in year 5.
I think for mine, because every teacher, for some reason, had these Choose Your Own Adventure books, or these Give Yourself Goosebumps. And the first one that I remember cracking open was the very first one, which is Escape from Carnival of Horror.
I have that one as well.
I love the cover for that one. It's so adorable.
That one has such good endings.
I thought a lot of these have great endings. Like one of my favorite ones is Little Comic Shop of Horrors.
I don't know that one.
I just love comic books so much that it was just like me being a comic freak.
Yeah, some of the endings in this book are really weird. I'm hoping we can get some of the good ones.
Well, it's going to find out because Meg is my page master.
The Page Master, which I think is the name of a animated movie with Macaulay Culkin in it.
Yes, it does, and it also has it also has Christopher Lloyd that looks like V.I. Lenin. If you look at it, it's actually very similar. That's the saddest joke I can make today.
This town stinks. It's Friday afternoon, the end of your first week at your new school. Your family just moved to this town last month, and so far, no one at school has even tried to be your friend. Day after day, you sit in class waiting for someone to talk to you, waiting and staring at all the strange faces around you. How can you possibly go through the year without any friends, you wonder? You are cool. You know you are. You had tons of friends at your old school. You trudge home slowly. All you have to look forward to is a boring weekend of watching TV with your parents and your bratty little brother.
Oh, bratty little brother.
Yeah, moving and a bratty little brother. That's 2 Goosebumps tropes already.
For the price of one.
Yeah, if you're playing at home, take a drink for each.
Yes. Ecto Cooler, please.
Yeah, drink responsibly, kids. Then something hits the back of your jacket. You whirl around, a pebble drops onto the ground. You glance up and notice a brown-haired boy about your own age. Hi, he calls out. I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick. I'm Zach.
I'm Meg. Nice to meet you. Hi, you reply and introduce yourself. We're in the same class at school, Nick says. That's funny, you think. You don't remember seeing him there. But
I mean, it's
smile.
like your first week there, so.
Yeah. Like, how are you, like, what's the normal class at a public school, like, 25 kids?
Let's see, mine, we had a class of 40.
40? Oh.
I've had classes with 40 people in high school.
Oh, man.
So it happens. In college, I've been in a class with 250.
Oh, well, that's normal for college, but when I went to public school for 1 year, and my class was about 30.
Yeah. I mean, some of our classes are big, so that's because I know our most impacted, the one with 40 was an AP class.
Oh, okay.
So that was
I went to, actually, I know, my high school was a huge school, but they had, the homeroom classes were small.
Yeah, I didn't even really know my homeroom because we just gave announcements. We didn't really even have homeroom.
Oh, we had homeroom. We actually had to do stuff for homeroom, like...
But you got graded for homeroom?
We didn't get graded for it, but we had to do stuff for it. We would have, we had assemblies once a week. And, no, we had assembly once a week. We had chapel once a week. And then the other 3 days we had homeroom, which would be, like, they'd make us watch sort of, like, motivational videos and talk to us about, like, getting jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah, we did none of that. We had a pep rally maybe once every month, and they were, like, the really most depressing things in my life.
Oh.
I don't like pep rallies.
Oh, we didn't have pep rallies, but because that's not really a thing that gets done in Australia, but we did have sports carnivals, which is like the whole school gets together and you have to compete in at least one event. And when you're not competing, you're standing in the stands and you have to cheer on everybody else in your class. And they were really stupid and I hated them.
Yeah, our school that we went to was all sports, so instead of calling our teachers teachers, we usually called them just coaches.
That's ridiculous to me for some reason.
I can tell you that.
My school was obsessed with sports too. Like,
Well, apparently we are one of the best basketball teams in the whole United States. So
wow, we had so many different sports teams at my high school. We had like a water polo team.
We did. We had a women's golf team, which my friend was on.
I don't even think we had a golf team. We had a basketball. We had a basketball team. We had rugby. We had basketball, rugby, soccer, netball, basketball. I played basketball.
I played badminton.
Oh. That's fun.
I actually like badminton. Badminton's actually a lot of fun. Mm. I also like tennis, but I didn't really play that much in high school.
I didn't like tennis that much.
But we should get back to this book.
Yeah, we should. Oh, we just got... We got on a tangent just talking about high school. Anyway.
Now, another time, if we ever do, like... Because there's a lot of school-based books for R.L. Stine. We'll get to them eventually.
Yeah. And then you'll just put them all together, and you can be able to, like, piece together from the evidence which high school Zach and I went to. It'd be a fun game. Anyway, you don't remember seeing him there, but you smile anyway. You're so happy someone is finally talking to you. I lived there, Nick tells you. He points to
where? I don't see it.
He points to a 2-story green house on the next block. You gaze back at him, shocked. But you can't live there, you explain. There's no way.
Wait, what? How would you know that information?
Oh, maybe it's like, I don't know.
Is it like while you're driving, like the real estate agent? Oh yeah, you shouldn't go to that house.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the way I'd sum it up.
Like the only way I can think of that you would not be able to live in that house is if it was like in the process of being knocked down.
Even then, I would imagine. I don't know, because you just moved here, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Let's figure it out. Why does this kid live here?
He's gonna explain it. What do you mean I can't live there? Nick asks, laughing. I know my own house. I live next door, you tell him. You point to the red brick house next to the green one, and for some reason red brick is one word here. I don't know.
Oh, it's red brick. It's right next to the red room.
The greenhouse has been empty all month. There hasn't been any lights on. No cars in the driveway. I was on vacation with my family. We just got back, Nick says. What do you think of school? Okay, I guess, you reply. You're afraid to say anything more. You never know. Maybe this kid Nick actually likes school.
Oh my god, what a nerd. Nerd.
Oh.
Wait, I actually like school, so...
No, school's
I'm
alright.
a nerd.
Can you believe
Okay.
how much homework our teacher gave us this weekend? Nick complains. He kicks a stone down the street as you walk. All the kids who had Mr. McCormick last year said he's really tough and mean. A total monster. You agree. The next thing you know, you and Nick are comparing favorite rock groups and comic books. My brain is just broken because I read rock groups and I did not think like bands. I did not think like musical groups. I
thought like groups of minerals?
Well, I like igneous rocks. I prefer sedimentary.
Yo, igneous rocks are the best. My favorite is when you go to the Grand Canyon, you see all the sedimentary rocks, and they're just stacked up to each other. Radical.
This just makes me think
You
of
want to see my pebble collection?
the Chasers War on Everything, where they do like the movie about rocks, and it's like starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson as igneous rock.
Cold Stone Steve Austin as sedimentary rock.
Yeah. Anyway,
another tangent. I have like the only rock that I actually have is my friends. They went to they went to New Zealand. I'm sorry. They went to all the Peter Jackson locations for Lord of the Rings, and they brought me back a rock from Mount Doom.
I have some like crystals, but not like rocks.
So I got some volcanic rock, and it's
Nice.
cool. So yeah, so now that they're talking about their favorite, mineral groups and their favorite comic books,
Both
like
of
Captain
you
Mineral.
collect Spider-Man comics. Nick has all the first issues from the last 5 years.
Unfortunately, there was a Clone Saga, so they weren't worth anything.
Oh man, the Clone Saga.
Yeah, so he's an idiot. So keep going.
Comics are cool, Nick says, but do you know what's even cooler? What? Oh, jinx. You ask. Horror stories, Nick exclaims. In fact, he stops talking and stares at you. What?
Okay.
You ask. What about horror stories? It's probably way too scary for you, Nick replies. Nothing's too scary for me, you boast. That's because you've never been to the Horror Club, Nick says. What's that? Nick grins. It's a club I belong to. You've got to be really brave to be a member. When we meet, we tell spooky stories. Really scary. Cool, you reply. I love scary stories. Can I join? If you think you can handle it, Nick says. We meet every Friday night at Batwing Hall. That's the deserted house at the end of the street. It was old Professor Krupnik's house. Wasn't that the name of the cop in West Side Story?
I believe, yeah.
Professor Krupnik. Anyway.
Yes.
I've seen the house. It looks haunted, you tell Nick with a laugh. Don't laugh, he warns you. It is haunted. Now we're going to turn to page 100.
Oh my gosh. So basically, the horror club is Monster Squad.
It is, but it's sort of also the Midnight Society.
Okay, so bogus.
What, you were not a fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I love Are You Afraid of the Dark.
Oh, but I thought you were saying
just
bogus
like
to the Midnight Society.
No, have you seen Monster Squad?
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with Wolfman's Got Nards?
Yeah, Wolfman's Got Nards.
That's like the only thing I remember about that movie. And when the little kid is holding hands with Frankenstein and she's like, come on, guys, don't be chicken shit.
Oh, I could just quote that movie. It's
Monster Squad
so
is
good. That's
such a
why I
good
put
movie.
garlic on my pizza just in case.
Isn't there already garlic in the pizza sauce, though?
I guess it depends on the pizza.
Well, you can always
Because
order
they also do
garlic
the
bread.
exact same thing in Fright Night too.
Oh, yeah.
My weird, obscure thing that I know. So let's go to the next page. We're going to Batwing Hall to join the horror club.
Not really, not yet. This is still part of the beginning of the story. We just had to change to page 100 for some reason. Haunted? For real? You ask. For real? Nick replies seriously. For really real. No, he didn't say that. I said that.
For realsies?
For realsies. That's why we picked it. Some of the scariest stories I've ever heard happened in Batwing Hall. Like what? Like the story of the kids on Halloween night, Nick says. They were all dressed up for trick-or-treating. They rang Professor Krupnik's doorbell. A figure dressed in all black answered, and the kids were invited inside. But they never came out. What
my
happened?
God.
You ask.
They got sugar-free candy. That monster.
They got sultanas and apple slices.
No.
They got a person at the door who said, "We don't celebrate Halloween in this house."
Or you do what my mom does, and she just turns the lights off, and she's just like, I don't want to give candy.
There's always one in every neighborhood.
Yeah, that's that's my mom.
Anyway. What happened, you ask breathlessly. Nobody knows, Nick replies. But late at night you can still hear the kids' screams. Horrible screams. And when the moon is full, some people say they've seen little creatures in monster costumes roaming about the inside of the house, trapped forever. Wow, great story,
crackle.
You say. What a story, Mark.
What a story, Mark.
Ha ha ha.
Okay, I'm playing this entire thing. I'm talking like Tommy Wiseau now.
Oh, God.
So.
It's not a story, Nick tells you. Being a member of the horror club is very dangerous. He pauses, then adds, today is Friday. We meet tonight.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to come? What do you think? Risk it and turn to page 17. Say thanks anyway and go to page 91.
So, go with him or not go with him? That is the question. Let's go with him, because I'm Zach, and I'm too cool for school, and I want to make friends.
You are a rad 90s teen.
It's either that or playing Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah, you probably go home and play Super Nintendo with your little brother, and I don't know where that ending went. I think it just stops on that page, and it's really boring.
Yeah, let's go with this guy,
okay,
Nick.
The horror club sounds great, you tell Nick. Count me in. I'll meet you in front of your house at 9 o'clock tonight, Nick says. You agree and say goodbye. Then you rush into your kitchen to find your parents. You tell them you've made a friend, and you've been invited to a club meeting. They are so happy for you. Of course, you don't tell them that the meeting is in a boarded-up, deserted old house. At 9 o'clock, you join Nick under the elm tree in your front yard. A skinny, fidgety girl with messy long hair waits with Nick. This is Debbie, he tells you. She's a member of the club, too. Hi, Debbie says. You can barely see her face under all her thick hair, and she always seems to be squirming about. You wonder what's with this strange girl. Her parents let her drink coffee. That's what her problem is.
Or she's ADHD, like me.
And me. You follow your new friend up the hill to the end of the long, dark street. The farther you go, the fewer houses there are. At the end of the road, the street lights are all out. The sky is pitch black. If it weren't for Nick's flashlight, you'd probably trip over your own feet. There it is, Nick says, pointing. Batwing Hall.
The last house on the left.
A huge dark shadow looms at the end of the street. It's the mansion. You stop walking and gaze up at it. Nick shines his flashlight at the old house on the hill. Batwing Hall is a 2-story, old-fashioned house. All of the windows that aren't boarded up are broken. Loose shingles flap from the roof. Paint peels from the weathered sides of the house. It looks as if no one has lived here for hundreds of years. You climb up the sagging porch with Nick and Debbie. Tall, overgrown trees and bushes cast eerie shadows across the deserted lawn. Isn't this place awesome? Debbie whispers to you. Really cool, you agree. This house has been empty for 2 years, Nick tells you. Ever since crazy old Professor Krupnik died. No one will buy it because it's haunted, Debbie explains. You notice she's chewing nervously at the ends of her hair. Yep.
Wait,
I did that
wait.
when I was a kid.
He said that he just moved back and lives in that house.
No, he
but
doesn't
it's
live
been
in that
deserted.
house. He lives in the greenhouse.
He lives in the greenhouse, but he said that was impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're right.
Because they were on vacation.
Okay, I'm like, wait,
But I think the
that
twist
doesn't
is
seem
going to be,
right.
I feel like the twist is going to be that he actually does live in Batwing Hall and that he's a ghost or something.
Oh, okay, or a monster.
Yeah.
Or he is the doctor.
The front door was all boarded up until we figured out how to pry it open, Debbie says. She points to the large wooden door. Let's go. You take a step forward. Stop, Nick shouts. Get down, now. Do as Nick says and turn to page 19, or ignore him and head for the door on page 85.
I'm going to drop to the ground because
You smart.
I get startled easily.
What is it? You cry as your body hits the ground. We've got to be careful, Nick whispers. If anyone catches us going in the front door, we could be in big trouble. We're not allowed in here. You nod, and you watch Debbie as she squirms and glances around nervously. You wonder why your new friends are so jumpy. You can't imagine how anyone could possibly see you in this darkness. But you figure Nick and Debbie know what they're doing. You stand and follow Nick and Debbie across the porch. Keeping as quiet as possible, you pull off the broken boards on the front door. You enter the house. The air in the entryway is stale and dusty. You hold back a sneeze. Nick motions for you to follow him. You creep after Nick and Debbie down a dark hallway. The floorboards creak loudly with each step. Then you enter a big, dimly lit living room. A broken chandelier sways from the ceiling. The faded wallpaper hangs in pieces from the walls. Dirty sheets cover what appear to be old sofas and chairs. And then you see them.
What?
4 kids sit in a circle on the living room floor. A big yellow candle flickers in the center. They all turn and stare at you. No one seems happy to see you. You stand awkwardly as Nick introduces you and says, "This is our newest member." Hi, Zach.
Oh. Hey, I'm Zach and I like horror movies.
What are you talking about? Cries a girl with short, curly red hair. Oh, it's a redhead.
Oh no! I mean, besides me wanting to flip this house now, let's keep going.
She glares at you. I brought a new member to the horror club, Nick repeats. Not today, exclaims a large boy with bulging arm muscles. What kind of boy has bulging arm muscles?
I'm gonna assume he must be a really big kid. He must be a 9th grader or 10th grader.
Yeah, he must be a really older kid who got held back and is just super jacked.
Or he's just one of those guys that just hangs out with teenagers for no apparent reason.
Oh, yeah. I had friends who were that guy.
So this guy, let's just say he's in his... he's 16.
Yeah, let's say he's 16 and he's hanging out with a bunch of 11-year-olds. And he's just really jacked for some reason.
He pumps iron.
What if he's a monster and he's that dog from the book cover, the one with the really jacked arms?
Oh my god! Or he's the dog's owner, so he gets his dog Swall and pumps iron.
Oh yeah, Swall AF. Anyway,
granted, I seem like he's got tattoos and stuff, but they're he made them himself.
Oh my god. Why not? Debbie asks, squirming next to you. Didn't anyone tell you? Asks another girl who has a deep voice for some reason. Tonight's the special night. We've got to get that kid out of here. We're not telling stories tonight. The plan has changed.
Oh my god, whoops. They're bank robbers.
Nick and Debbie quickly leave your side and huddle together with the other kids. You can hear them arguing about you. Then one
what they're probably doing? They're probably telling their horror fan fictions.
Oh my god, right, Freddy x Jason x Rita.
Yeah, that, or they're reading really awful creepypasta stories.
Oh my god.
We're gonna read Jeff the Killer, guys, tonight.
We're gonna read Laughing Jack fights Jeff the Killer.
Yep, this is the horror club. They just read really awful creepypasta stories, and they say it's super spoopy.
And then a skeleton popped out. Whoa! But who was phone?
Who was phone? Or the weird action piece they have.
Yes. Then one voice rises above the others. But today is game day. You know what that means. It means sports.
Oh, sports,
It means
yes.
football. No, it doesn't. But that sounds like isn't that what they call like the Super Bowl? Don't they call it game day when they're not allowed to say the Super Bowl because it's a registered
interesting
trademark?
thing that just happened. Speaking of that, weird thing. They actually just trademarked the Super Bowl, so if you're doing marketing, you can't actually say the Super Bowl anymore.
I thought that had already happened.
It just happened.
Oh.
So now it's the big game.
Oh, wow.
The only people that can say it is actually Budweiser because they did like $1 billion deal with the Super Bowl. So for the next like 12 years.
Marketing's weird.
I like marketing.
I don't, you suddenly call out. You're sick of standing there. You want to know what's
going
marketing? On. No, this is the book. This is you saying
that's just me joking.
Yeah. It works. All 6 kids stop arguing. The girl with the red hair steps towards you. I'm Marcy, she tells you. There are no stories tonight. We're playing games instead, but new members can't play. That's the rule. Can't you break the rules just one time, you ask? These aren't ordinary games, warns the boy with the large muscles. I'm just going to call him the jacked boy.
Oh my god, they're LARPing. That's what they're doing. They're
Lightning bolt.
They're
playing, what's that game?
Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
White Wolf.
Oh no, Ember's gonna get really pissed at me, but they're probably playing Vampire the Masquerade.
These games are scary. Really scary. The scarier, the better, you announce bravely. This starts another argument. Some kids want you to stay and play. Others want you to leave. Debbie hurries to your side. Through her mane of dark hair, she whispers, go home now. But at that moment, Marcy decides, it is decided. You can stay and play games with us. Great, you say, ignoring Debbie. What are we playing?
Yeah, what are we playing?
This game is called The Hunt. I am the captain of Blue Team. Nick is the captain of Red Team. So it's going to be Team Fortress 2.
Yes, so we're, if I pick blue, it's Builders League United.
Yeah, and then the other one is Reliable Excavations and Demolitions.
Yeah, high five.
What class do you go for in TF2 usually?
I'm a medic.
I usually play Spy.
I like Spy.
I have not
it's for
played that
me.
game
It's always medic, pyro, and then NG.
Oh, pyro's fun. Anyway, you watch as Nick picks Debbie and a skinny boy named Connor to be on his team. Connor has short, bristly hair and a very strange smell. Oh, okay.
Oh, so he's just hit puberty.
Yeah, he's 12. As Connor walks by, you decide he smells as if he's been lying in a dumpster. Once again, like a 12-year-old.
Oh my god, yeah. No, he probably smells like a dumpster because he uses like Axe body spray.
My god.
Like it's like instead of washing himself.
Oh, the rain just picked up really hard, so if you hear anything in this recording, that's what that is.
It was just raining here earlier, but please bring us more rain.
Anyway, what I was going to say is my nephew went through a phase where he refused to wear deodorant. He would only wear, like, cologne or body spray.
Ugh.
So
the
choices were either between, he wears deodorant now. His mom's forcing him to do it, but his choices were he would either wear Lynx, which is what we call Axe here, I think.
Okay.
Or Old Spice as well? Swag, or the Playboy cologne.
I weep for humanity. This is Hamish, right?
Yeah, and Hamish now he used to wear Old Spice, but now he uses like actual deodorant.
I feel like I'd have like interesting conversations with your cousin.
He's a nice kid. He's a good kid. Anyway, he's coming with me to the States, so...
High five. You should get him on this podcast.
He should come on this podcast, because I talk about... he should definitely come on Trivial Terror, because he had some funny things he was afraid of when he was a baby. I don't know if he remembers them all, though, because, he's at that age where it's like, I'm not scared of no thing.
I ain't no afraid of no goats.
No goats?
No goats.
Hi. Okay, wait. For the blue team, Marcy chooses a beautiful girl with long blonde hair and green eyes. Her name is Lara.
Wait, Lara?
Lara.
Like L-A... Okay.
Lara, L-A-R-A.
Okay. Because we had this conversation in our last podcast. Is it Lyra or Loira for the Golden Compass?
I used to get into arguments about whether it was Lyra or Lyra.
I said Loira, and Ember was just like, no, it's Lyra.
Okay. Anyway, She smiles shyly at you. Marcy also picks the guy in the muscle shirt. Is this the buff kid?
Yeah,
I think this is the buff kid.
He wears a muscle shirt too?
He wears a
Oh my
He's
God.
such a bro. He's totally like 25 hanging out with these kids.
Okay, if he ever talks, you have to say in the bro voice.
Hi, I'm Martin, the kid says, pounding you on the back. Welcome to Horror Club. He laughs, then flexes his muscles.
Oh my God, this guy's a bro. Sup, bro?
His shirt probably says "Sun's out, guns out."
Sun's out, guns out. He also has like protein shakes in his hand the entire time.
Yeah, and he's got like a backwards visor on, and he's wearing stubbies, and he's like, "Oh, bro, I gotta go to the gym after this, bro."
Oh my God, I love this guy. I love Matt.
He laughs, then flexes his muscles. You step back. Martin's arm is bigger than your whole body.
What? Is he like roiding out now? Oh my God.
That's 3 on each team, Marcy announces. Our new member can join either one. She turns to you. It's up to you. Which team will you join? Would you rather hang out with Nick, Debbie, and Connor on the red team, or get to know Lara, Marcy, and Martin on the blue team? To join red team, go to page 88. To join blue team, go to page 33.
I think I'm going to go off my TF2 class, which team I prefer, and I actually prefer red.
All right, so we are not going to hang out with Martin, the bro. We're going to hang out with the other kids.
What's going to end up happening is he's going to make me like bench press.
Yeah, and he'll probably just like throw you through the wall.
Yo, spot check, bro. And like you don't know how to spot check because he like lifts like 1,000 pounds.
I choose red team, you announce. Fine, Marcy says. The red team will stay in the house for the games. The blue team will go outside. See you later. Marcy, Lara, and Martin leave the house. You turn to your new teammates. With a smile, you're looking forward to the games. I'm glad you're on our team, Nick says. We're having a scavenger hunt. Everything has to be found inside the house. Cool, you reply. I love scavenger hunts. Where's the list? Here it is, Debbie says, handing you a piece of white paper. You read the list of items out loud. Horror Club scavenger hunt. 1 human bone. 3 hairs from a werewolf. 1 straw from a witch's broom. 1 piece of a mummy's bandage.
Okay, so simple things.
Yeah, so just like, you could easily cheat and go to the grocery store to get most of these.
Yeah, and just say, yeah, I got them all.
You read the list again, then you start to laugh. These guys really take this horror club stuff seriously, you think. Still laughing, you point to the list and say, great joke, very funny. Why are you laughing? Connor demands. This list, it's a riot, you reply. You wonder why no one else has even cracked a smile. It's not a joke, Nick insists. This is the list for our scavenger hunt. Give me a break, you say. You expect me to believe that? Where would I find these things? In this house, Debbie replies matter-of-factly. Yeah, right, you scoff. I'm supposed to believe there really are werewolves and witches and mummies. It's true, Connor says. Do you want me to prove it? Nick asks with an evil grin. A very evil grin.
Let's do it, Nick. Let's go. Let's see. What's super scary about these people?
Okay, you say. Go ahead. You asked for it, Nick says. He glances at Debbie and Connor. They nod with excitement. What's going on, you wonder? Slowly, Nick brings his hands to his cheeks. He hooks his thumbs under his chin and rips his face right off. You gasp. The head of a green-skinned reptilian monster stares out at you from the top of Nick's body. Slimy
Lizard
scales
man.
cover his face and begin to spread down his arms and hands.
I was right. The government is after to get me, and it is the reptile people. Where's my tinfoil hat? Protect me from the rays.
Where's my David Icke books?
I knew it.
He was right all along. Nick, you choke out. The monster grins at you with 6-inch long fangs. Its beady yellow eyes gaze at you hungrily. I'm imagining Reptile from Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat? Yeah, I can see that, except hopefully Nick doesn't, shoot acid in my face.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You turn to Debbie and Connor. Full stop, new line. And scream, full stop, new line.
That's
That's another R.L. Stine trope that I don't like.
Oh, full stops?
Yeah, just stopping the sentence and then putting the rest of the sentence on a new line. They're peeling off their kid faces too. You gape in horror at Debbie. Her skin is now purple and covered with oozing, hideous warts. Her eyes have turned completely white and seem to bulge out of her head. And her hair, it's wriggling with black tarantulas. Now you know the truth. These kids are monsters. And what's wrong with Connor? You turn and sprint for the front door, but the entrance is blocked by Connor. He grabs your shoulder, and you nervously stare up at him, way up. Connor has turned into a 7-foot-tall giant with one red eye in the middle of his forehead, so that's called a cyclops. And the stench coming off his body is unbearable once again. Normal for a 12-year-old.
Oh my god, he just has more axe.
Yeah, he just got more axe for his larger body. Where are you going? He growls. I need to go home, you mumble. You duck under Connor's massive arm and lunge for the doorknob. And miss. The monster that used to be Nick beats you to it. Nick locks the door and says, not so fast. It's time for the scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunt? There's no way you're sticking around to play a game with monsters. Unless this is all a joke. Hey, that's it, you think. It's all a joke. They must be wearing monster costumes. So Nick had a mask on under his mask of his own face.
So he ripped his own face off? Okay. I mean, that's kind of hardcore.
That is a hardcore prank to pull.
How about the person that went 7 feet tall? That's a little hard to like.
They just got the buff kid to sit on his shoulders.
Oh, you're right. It's like with a trench coat.
Yeah.
Okay, then afterwards they're gonna go to the movies and they're gonna see Friday the 13th Part 13.
Mm. No, you think again. They can't be wearing costumes. They're way too real looking. Quick, you have to make up your mind. If you're sure it's all a joke, turn to page 13. If you believe the monsters are real, turn to page 71.
Let's just go to 71.
You were making smart decisions this time.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like what's either gonna happen is that I just saw a person peel off his face and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's not a joke, and I'm pretty sure they're hungry for 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
So, because if it's going off my physique, they'll have plenty to work with, and they'll be noshed for a while. So I'm gonna go follow them.
Yeah. You stare at Nick, Debbie, and Connor's gruesome faces. There's no question they're monsters, real monsters. Let me out of here, you cry. Nick still blocks the door. You spot a window in the living room. You take a deep breath and race for it. You are fast. You always win the 50-yard dash at school. But against these monsters, you're not fast enough. Debbie easily beats you to the window. The tarantula scurried through her spiderweb hair as she cackles. There's no way out. Please, let me go home, you plead. I won't tell anyone your secret. Just let me go. No way, Nick cries as he enters the living room.
I have a family. Eat them.
Eat my sibling, who I hate. Because as a Goosebumps protagonist, you have a sibling that you hate.
Yeah, they could easily eat him and it'd solve some more problems.
Yeah. No way, Nick cries as he enters the living room with Connor. There's no escape from the horror club. Well, Debbie says, that's not exactly true. There is one way out. You gaze around the room, searching frantically for an exit. The three monsters circle you. You don't see any way past them. Where is it, you ask? How do I get out? Nick glares at Debbie. Your only hope, Debbie says, ignoring Nick, is to play the game.
Okay, so is it patty cake? Are we playing the Hunger Games now?
What
or are we
game?
still doing that scavenger hunt?
You ask Debbie, your voice trembling. The scavenger hunt, she declares. If you can find all 4 items on the list before midnight, Nick asks, then we will let you go. If you fail, you will be trapped here forever and turned into a monster.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, let's reading this as a kid, I always wanted that to happen, because,
We'll turn into a monster?
Yeah, as long as I could have been a vampire, or some kind of, fish creature. Because when I was a kid, the 2 things I wanted to be most in my life were either a vampire or a mermaid. So if I was turned into sort of a fish monster or a vampire, I would have been A-okay.
Oh, so you'd be one of the fish people from, Dagon?
Yes.
Oh,
I was thinking more like Creature from the Black Lagoon, but,
Yeah, you'd be like the gill
anything that
man.
was like half human and half fish was my jam when I was a kid.
That would be cool.
Like obsessed with mermaids and fish monsters and fish with arms. I don't know.
I feel like I would probably be like a fish person, or I would be like.
But I honestly, I'd prefer to be a vampire though. There's a lot of advantages.
We can get into a whole like this discussion about why vampires secretly are the worst things in existence. Because they die for literally everything. The only thing that happens to them is they get extended life.
That's true, but I don't know. Your knees shake as you review the scavenger hunt list in your mind. Where will you ever find werewolf hair and mummy bandages? Then again, you don't have many options, but maybe you think you can use the time to search for an open window and escape. You've only got 2 hours, Connor growls, looking at the tiny watch on his huge wrist. Such a funny image to me. You'd better get started. You can begin here on the main floor or go upstairs, Nick tells you, his reptile tongue darting in and out of his mouth. It's your choice.
I'm going to go downstairs because if I jump out of a window on the second floor, I'll break my legs.
Well, stay on the main floor or go upstairs.
Let's go to the main floor.
Okay. I'm going to search all the main floor, you tell the monsters. Lots of luck, Nick sneers. You glance around.
Nick's a jerk.
Yeah, he is. But all lizard people are jerks. That's why they want to control the government.
Ah, you're right.
You glance around the dark, creepy mansion. You know escape is going to be tough. You decide you'll do the scavenger hunt. You play along with the monsters, but still search for a way out. Either way, you promise yourself you won't let them turn you into a monster. You search the living room.
I want to be a monster.
Exactly. You search the living room first. A curtain of cobwebs dangles from the ceiling. You have to part them to search the room. Yuck. The only furniture in the room is an old sofa and 2 overstuffed chairs. You lift the cushions to search for the creepy things. Could there really be a human bone under there, you wonder? You nearly choke from the flying dust, but no bone. You peer under the furniture, nothing. Then Connor sneaks up on you. He kicks a dust ball in your face. The clock is ticking. How do you kick a dust ball?
He's a monster. He's probably a dust monster.
No, he's...
Or no, it's probably like his like cloud of axe.
I breathed in bug spray once, and I died. It was the worst.
Man, that's right.
The clock is ticking, he booms. You stare up at his one bloodshot eye and escape into the next room. It's an old-fashioned dining room. A long wooden table stands in the middle of the room. As you step toward the table, something black and hairy jumps out at you. It's a huge black rat, and it scurries across your sneaker. You jump back and scream. You can hear the rat's sharp claws scratch across the floorboards as it disappears into the living room. You wonder what other gross creatures are crawling around in this old house. You decide to head into the kitchen. Clump, clump, clump. You can hear Nick, Debbie, and Connor following you. If you're afraid of a little rat, Nick hisses in your ear, then you're going to be in big trouble later. Big trouble. How much do you want to bet that it's a big rat?
It's a big rat.
You try to ignore Nick, even though your knees shake at his warning. You spot a kerosene lamp on the kitchen table. You pick it up.
What?
So you can see into the dark corners of the kitchen.
Oh my god, we're playing Amnesia.
The kitchen is filled with cupboards, closets, and shelves. Anything could be hidden here. You pull open drawer after drawer. Clouds of dust make your eyes itch. Then in the next drawer you open, you see them. Bandages, but are these mummy bandages? You hope they are, shoving several into your pocket. One item off the list, you think. Then a hideous scream cuts through the air. Could it be a human scream? You've never heard a human scream sound like that. You whirl around in the direction of the scream. Debbie is the one screaming. No, she shrieks again and hurries over to you. Can't you read? Debbie cries. The words on her face ooze green goo. That's not what you want. Those aren't mummy bandages. Debbie snatches the bandages from your pocket and tosses them on the floor. Don't waste time, she cries. You step back and try to think. There's no way to escape from the kitchen. Connor is guarding the doors, and Nick is by the window. You have to find the items on that list. You gaze around and then head for a tall, narrow closet and freeze in horror. A thick pool of something red and sticky is seeping underneath the door. It looks like blood. To open the door, turn to page 83. To go back and go into the dining room again, page 78.
Let's see. Go through the closet of blood or go towards the kitchen. Let's go to the blood.
Yeah.
Just because I'm fearless, bro.
Your heart thuds as you approach the closet door. The pool of blood grows larger on the floor. Slowly, you pull the door open and gasp. There is no dead body in the closet. No dead anything. Only a broken jar. A jar of raspberry jam.
Wait. Raspberry jam doesn't look like blood.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look anything like blood. This kid's an idiot. Zack,
I feel like it also wouldn't pool either.
No, it wouldn't.
So.
You're an idiot for thinking that this jam was blood. You sigh with relief and explore the closet further. The shelves are crammed with rusty cans of vegetables and moldy stacks of flour. You quickly search all the shelves but find nothing. Then you spotted a plastic shoebox on the bottom shelf.
Oh boy, it's gonna have light sketchers.
You reach down and open it. You can't believe your eyes. Nestled in the center of the box is, on a dark piece of cloth, is the skeleton of a human hand. Oh, gross, you moan. You try not to wonder whose hand it was and how it got in this box. You found our skeleton in the closet, Debbie sings out.
Oh, God, that's awful.
You nod. You're glad you found something on the list, but you don't want to touch the hand. You start to carry the box away from the closet. But then Nick stops you. The list says one bone from a human hand, not the whole hand, he reminds you. His reptile tongue darts in and out of his mouth. You stare down at the hand. One bone!
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take off the pinky bone. So, yeah.
You only need one bone. You take a deep breath and grab hold of the skeleton hand. The yellowed fingers feel icy cold. You grab the pinky and twist. It comes loose with a sickening snap. You drop it in your pocket and try not to think about it too much. You glance at the list again. I don't think bones snap
like that, so...
I'm sorry?
I just don't think bones would snap like that if they're just like an old decrepit bone.
No, it would just fall apart.
Yeah, it just fall apart.
Like there wouldn't be any sinew holding it together.
Yeah, so...
You glance.
This kid's a baby.
Yeah, he is. You're a baby, Zack. This kid is you. Never forget that.
Oh, okay. I know I am.
You glance at the list again. Now, all you have to do is find 3 other items. 3 hairs from a werewolf, a straw from a witch's broom, and a piece of a mummy's bandage. The faster, the better, you think. You dart out of the kitchen and into the dining room. Psst, psst. You gaze around nervously. Over here, Debbie whispers from a shadowy corner. Debbie is standing by herself in the corner. You figure Nick and Connor must still be in the kitchen. You approach cautiously. Do you really think the scavenger hunt is for real? She asks, glancing towards the kitchen. Yeah, you say. You guys promised you'd let me go if I found the items by midnight. Debbie starts laughing, a hideous cackling laugh. That's my best cackling laugh.
Okay, I don't like that laugh, so... What's going on, Debbie?
She says. It's a joke. You're never getting out. You don't know whether to believe her or not. What do you mean, you ask? Debbie slithers closer. I am on your side, she whispers. I used to be a regular kid just like you. Then I joined the horror club. Now look what happened to me. You stare in amazement at Debbie's hideous monster face. Is she for real? Was she really once a normal kid like you? I want to help you, she says. If you follow me, I'll help you escape. If you think Debbie is telling the truth, follow her to page 86. If you think it's best to continue the hunt, turn to page 16.
Let's see. Figure out a monster person that has tarantula for hair and oozing pus. Or I don't trust her. Well, seeing how they're both egging me on, I think I'm not going to go with her because I'm too cool for her.
Okay. No offense, you tell Debbie, but I'm going to continue the scavenger hunt. For a moment, Debbie only stares at you. Then her purple skin begins to grow darker and darker. How dare you doubt me, she cries. Is this the thanks I get for trying to help? She raises your arms. And now you see that she has very long, very sharp claws. She lunges at you.
Oh.
You leap back, trying to decide which direction to run when something goes
splat
right on your neck. You reach up and you feel prickly hair and legs and a warm round body. There is a tarantula on your neck. The creature's legs dig into your skin like sharp needles. It begins to nibble at your skin. You scream and flick it on the ground. Debbie laughs. She reaches for another deadly spider. But you spot a dark hole and race down it. Debbie and her tarantulas follow. You run, and you find yourself standing in front of two doors. One is orange, the other is green. Pick a door quickly before you are eaten alive by tarantulas!
Oh my god, tarantulas are the least threatening things in the animal kingdom.
The most adorable spiders that exist.
I actually like tarantulas. I think they're
a tarantula
adorable.
is like a proper animal. It's not a spider anymore. It's a proper animal.
I would put like a leash on it and just be like, I'm going to walk my tarantula.
Me too.
Let's see. So what are my options?
Orange or green.
Orange or green. This is hard. Let's see. I'm going to go orange.
All right.
Because orange is the sweater I wear in our logo.
Nice. You wrench open the orange door, step forward, and plunge down. Cold air whooshes around you, and you fall faster and land with a thump. You sit up slowly and examine yourself. You move your arms and legs, no broken bones. But where are you? There's a sliver of bright light near your feet. You can reach out in the darkness and feel four walls around you. You're in some sort of closet, and it smells strangely familiar, like old, sweaty socks. You gaze behind you in the dim light. T-shirts, jeans, and jackets hang above on a rod. Above one rod is a shelf filled with toys, familiar toys. With a shock, you realize it's your closet at home. You open the closet door and step into your bedroom. Morning sunlight pours through the window.
What?
Time to get up, you hear your mother calling. Come on, sleepyhead. It's Friday. Only one more day until the weekend. Friday? Somehow you've been sent back to your own house.
I've been trapped in my closet, R. Kelly style.
On the morning before you join the horror club, none of the scary things have happened to you yet, but they could. It's up to you. Are you brave enough to visit Batwing Hall again?
What? What type of ending did I just get?
You just got the Groundhog Day ending.
Okay, that was the weirdest ending. What would have happened if I chose... I guess the story would have continued then.
Well, I'm going to go back and see what happens if you click the green door.
Okay, then why we want to keep going?
Well, you see, it doesn't say it's ended. It just says turn back to page 1. So we can just
I go back to page 1.
Turn to page 1 and then just like...
Okay, so let's just do it this way where we rewind. We go back to that same situation because it's Groundhog Day.
Okay, the green door. Let's see what the green door does.
Okay, so we're going to like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, we're redoing it. Yeah, that's a good time travel noise. It's a very good time travel noise.
Like it's like a VHS, like when you rewind it. So... let's go back. So,
okay,
green door.
You pull open the green door. You find yourself back in the living room. This house is like a never-ending maze, you think. You glance behind you. No sign of Debbie, Nick, or Connor. You check your watch. It's 10:50 p.m. You only have a little over an hour before you are turned into a monster. You're trying to decide what to do next when you hear a strange noise. Thump, thump, scrape. The noise grows louder and louder. Thump, thump, scrape. You slowly turn and find yourself staring at a mummy. A 6-foot-tall mummy wrapped in old yellow bandages that are starting to unravel. It is eyeless, mouthless. Its eyeless, mouthless, bandaged face seems to stare back at you. A sour smell invades your nostrils. The smell of decay, of rotting flesh, of death. You gag and hold your nose. Then the mummy turns stiffly and disappears down a hallway. You don't want to follow it, but you need mummy bandages for the scavenger hunt. You have to follow it. You have no choice.
Ankh Sinatra. I'm gonna try to find the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Oh, I have that somewhere.
I have it somewhere too, but I really want the one they have in The Mummy, because that is one of my favorite horror movies. The Brendan Fraser one. And the regular one. Actually, the original one's good, but it's one of the first horror movies I saw, so.
The first horror movie I ever saw was Bride of Frankenstein.
I love Bride of Frankenstein.
Unless you count Jurassic Park as a horror movie.
Nah, it depends on when you see it.
Well, I saw it when I was 4.
I mean, when I one I call my dog Rosie. She's red and white. I'm sorry, I say she's black and white. So sometimes I'll call her the bride. If it was my choice, I would have called her Mary.
I was a Bride of Frankenstein many years for Halloween.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever was the monster. I was Dracula once, but I was also a mad scientist. So I could say I'm Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah. The real Frankenstein.
Yeah. I'm Frankenstein.
And I'm Igor.
Isn't it Igor?
No, it's Igor.
Okay.
What happened to the hump on your back? What hump?
What hump? I love that. It's actually my sister's favorite movie, and she hates horror movies.
I love that movie. Well, it's not a horror movie. It's funny.
I know. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Anyway, I can't believe there is a real mummy in this house, you think to yourself as you chase him down hallway after dark hallway. The mummy turns a corner. You are about to turn too when you hear a familiar voice behind a pink door. You peek through the crack in the door and spot Nick, Connor, and Debbie. They seem to be talking about you. The monsters obviously don't know you are there. Should you stop and listen? Maybe you will hear something that will help you escape, or is it better to follow the mummy? To eavesdrop, turn to page 65. To follow the mummy, hurry to page 94.
Let's see, if I want to spy on these monsters, or do I want to follow this mummy? I'm going to eavesdrop.
All right.
Just because I'm too cool and I want to hear what they have to say about me, because Book Zack is really self-conscious when it comes to what people think of him. Mm. So let's see what they have to say about me. If they're talking like mad, like no chill type of stuff.
You listen to the monsters talk. It's almost midnight, Connor says. Soon our friend will join us, Nick adds. It'll be good to have some new blood, Debbie agrees. You press your ear closer and continue to listen.
I'm listening.
I can't believe the horror club has been around for 500 years. We've had so many members. Yeah, Debbie agrees. It's too bad we lose so many of them. I don't understand why this house turns most of our new members to stone.
Wait, what?
Nick starts to speak again, but then you stop listening. Turn to stone? Can that be true? Forget the scavenger hunt, you say to yourself. Just find a way to leave, but you can't. You can't move. Not a muscle. You have become strangely stiff. Your feet feel heavy, like rocks. Then you look down to see that your feet are rocks. Too bad. Waluigi time. No.
Wow.
It looks as if the only thing left for you to do is join a rock group, but
no. Was that really the ending?
Yes.
So, I guess Nick was really talking about a rock group.
Yeah, he really was talking about a group of people who were rocks.
I guess so. In this, I'd probably be like an igneous rock because I'm really hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, that was the ending. You turned to stone. That was a wild ride. You did the Groundhog Day thing.
And then I turned to stone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way to end the book. Mm-hmm. I like this actually. This was actually a good ending.
This one's got some really wackadoo endings. Like, there's the one where you make you're a bat and you make ice cream for bats.
Wait, what?
There's an ending in this book where you have you turn into a bat because you go into the tomb of Professor whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns you into a bat. And then you make an ice cream that is bug flavored for bats, and you become a millionaire.
Yeah, I remember there's like a part in this book where like you have to decide between like you go to like a bookshelf and they have all these books like Frankenstein, Godzilla, and Dracula. And as a kid, I'm like, you could do that in books? I love that. There's like so many great endings. I know like there's the one where you just fall down an elevator shaft and you just keep falling.
Yeah.
I was expecting that was the one when I picked the orange door.
No,
actually.
That was the Groundhog Day ending.
Which I like better. I wish I just kept doing the Groundhog Day ending. So
Never-ending horror club.
Never-ending horror club. I liked it. I recommend people read this one.
I recommend this one too. Choose Your Own Adventure books are really fun.
Like I find them to be my favorite things for Goosebumps at sometimes because they're really good when you're at a party and like. Because some of them just have, like, the wackiest things that happen to you. And the wackiest dialogue, because it's trying to be in the first person, but not really.
Yeah. And Do you know, I have the, Dragonology Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Oh, that's cool. I have like some of the Choose Your Own Adventure books. My friend Alan Jenkins, who does the Beware and Warning a Choose Your Own Adventure podcast, he just loves these Choose Your Own Adventure stories.
Yeah, they're really good. So that was a fun time. That was a fun thing to do in the morning, and I'm sad that Amber's not here, but I don't really know how we would have done it with two of you.
I think what we were talking about was I think it should just be the two people, so maybe next time it can just be you two.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like that's how we do Choose Your Own Adventure stories.
What is next week's book, Zach?
So the next book for next week is going to be another Goosebumps classic.
Woo.
You know, I'm not just a mad podcaster. I'm an angry podcaster.
Is it time for Axe Murder Plant Dad?
Yes, Axe Murder Plant Dad, the movie.
Yes.
So, Meg, you have to stay out of the basement.
More like stay in of the basement because we're going to read the book. Stay out of the basement.
So we're going to be reading Stay Out of the Basement by R.L. Stine. That's going to be the second book for the Goosebumps series. And I like the cover for this. So we'll get into that.
We'll get into it next week.
But there was an interesting thing that I'll bring up that I might actually be close to the Brewer family. So we'll find out because someone was telling me that it's supposed to be set near my house. So I can confirm once we read
you'll
this.
Have to. Yeah, on this spooky adventure. I am on Twitter at Meg Juden. That's at MEGTUTEN. And I'm on Tumblr, sodasodabanana.tumblr.com. And I'm also on YouTube. Just search for Meg Juden.
You can reach me at Suda41 on Twitter, or you can find me at wonderful places like Ace Podcasting Network. You can even find our other show, Turning Back the Pages, where it's me and my friend Ember, where we talk about children's books in really wacky ways.
And you can also find my podcast, which I forgot to mention, which is called the Trivial Terror Podcast. You can find that on Podbean and iTunes. We update fortnightly. It's about scary things, silly things that scared people when they were children.
Sweet. So you can also, if you want to email the show, what did you think of the story? What was your favorite Choose Your Own Adventure ending in this book? Let us know at nightmareonfearstreet@gmail.com, or you can follow us on our website at ghoulish.fancies.com for more news. I'm Zach.
I'm Meg.
And say spooky.